All right, so this is the official episode, right? This is the official still growing session number 1. Like, this one went exactly how we intended. The moments, the people, the flow of the conversations. So, like I said, this is a part of a series of videos that I'm gonna share with you all. Every time we have a still growing session, I'm gonna share it with you all first and foremost. And if you haven't already noticed from being here, from watching the first video, or maybe you just got here, something that we do is we archive all of the posts after 4 weeks, right? And if you're wondering why I'm outside, by the way, as you hear all these cars passing by, is because this is the equipment and setup that we have. There's really no way for me to make it better other than just sitting in the house and trying to curate it, overly curate it, and spend extra amount of time when it's like, that's why we got the subscription. Because the more we able to sustain this channel, the more we able to put into the media, the research, the equipment and all of that stuff, the editors, right? So I'm not gonna overcompensate. We're gonna deliver this in the most genuine and authentic way possible. That's also what still growing is about just giving yourself grace on your self-development journey, on your healing journey. You know, just like not having to be so anxious and like negative to yourself about what you need to be getting done, right? But it also affirms growth, right? Still growing. And so yeah, other than that, man, thank y'all. This is the New Person News Substack. I'm still figuring it out as I'm going along, whether it's the podcast, whether it's putting the links in the bio, whether it's, you know, the subscriptions and the pricing and the platforms. Like, I'm working all of the kinks out, but that's why, you know, I'm sharing this moment with you all and introducing it this way. So yeah, I see y'all when I see y'all in real life. And if not, hopefully our relationship online continues to grow deeper. You feel me? You already got plenty of clothes at the house. Like, I don't know, more than I need to have.
But the hats are gonna go. You don't even need to have to worry about them being at the house for too long.
I might get some more, like you said, the lavender ones, the orange ones too. People rocking with them too.
That's what I'm saying.
People rocking with them joints too.
Don't count it out.
You heard what the fuck Toni said.
Look, you already know what the fuck going on,
What
right?
the fuck going on? You heard what Toni said. Don't be counting shit out around here. Don't count shit out around here, bro.
So I was gonna ask about it, so I'm glad that I stumbled in here.
What's your name?
Yes.
Sharice.
It's nice to meet you.
Miss She Rise. You have any shows coming up?
I'm doing like a little car show now.
Oh, word. Oh, so that's why I see you low key.
Yeah, I'm chilling.
Chilling. Alright, say less.
Gorgeous singer.
But yeah, I'm doing a so far show in May. If you ever heard of it.
Yeah, so far, is it going to be in Philly location? So far, Philly, yeah.
I think it's in my house.
We there. We there.
Really?
Yeah. And I already follow your content, so like I'll just keep a lookout for when you start promoting it. Okay, yeah. We'll be there. We love the support.
Appreciate that.
Oh, of course.
Alright,
So yeah, make sure you get them close-ups on that eclectricity. You know what I'm saying? Because this is her debut. You heard me? Debut.
Yeah, they're gonna love what's in it because when she asked, I was like, listen, they got hibiscus, they got ginger root, it has blood orange, dry chips, it has cinnamon barks in there, peppermint, a nice floral minty blend. They're gonna love that.
The fact that you even remember all those ingredients,
Cause
that's how you really love it.
like,
That's how you
good. Definitely get some maple. Yeah.
No shade. You know, no shade.
No shade.
I definitely want to take a picture of like the way this looks together. And like, Snap got it.
So,
You ready?
that's why I did this joint here, and because it's like this was where I got the the first alley oop for real. Like when I started still growing, I was living up the street, and like they opened up, and the BAPS event that's on the window, you might have not seen it when you came in. That was the first event they did here, and you know, everything was just flying. But I had my music out, cause still growing a music project. Yeah, it's a right. But it's because the clothes start going so crazy. Earlier I said, all right, let me just lock in with this.
Don't lose the momentum. Keep it going. All right.
The artist in me though be like tired of doing the same thing. The routine of it be getting monotonous. Like I want to do something different. My artisticness want to do something different. So like that's why I'm putting a lid on this whole like where the clothes are getting distributed thing and getting back into like what the mission is for.
No, I'm good. I'm gonna sit back here.
So my next play for real after this is like going into the farms. Like that's the final destination
Did you
of
see
still
the
growing.
thread that was going viral, the shorty that got the phone?
Yeah, that's my nappy curls. That's my dog. Yeah. That's my dog. Yeah, man, that's good peoples, and it's stuff like that. That's the initiative that I'm gonna start flowing the still growing into, and like looking fly while you farming. You feel me? Yeah. You know, then start getting get the mechanic Jones, get the overalls, huh? About like, you know, you've been in the service. It's like being able to like have a routine, a PT. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it's just good for the mind, breaking up the monotony. So that's why I have journaled. I'm not like an avid journaler, but like these were some prompts that I really like locked in with. And so every time I be doing these, I work from here, and then everything else I write after. But I start with the journal prompts. Like I already got my second one written already. I just need to, you know, production costs. Yeah, I got my second one ready. It really starts from the journal prompts. So if nothing else, bro, if you're interested in like diving deeper, you should take a picture of them journals. Where we're at. Because I feel like today is the first time I ever really got to tell niggas about like what conversation, you feel me? I'm just so happy y'all here. I like to keep it moving, right? So at 6:30, we're gonna get started. I'm gonna open up the floor. The intention of what I wanted to come here to do is like have conversation and introduce y'all to playing people. So I'm gonna do my introduction at 6:30. But like my main goal is to like hear from everybody else. Like really, I got some prompts in my journal, and like what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna read them out. And if you feel called to share, like how like your answer to that prompt, I would love to hear it and capture it. We want to share it on the Still Growing platform. But my two guests and features who we need to hear from, and I would love for y'all to hear from, is Sheen Anthony and my baby Toni. So after they go, you know what I mean, if you feel compelled, I'm gonna ask them all the questions in the joint. And then if y'all feel compelled to hop in, yeah, I did that. Right. And then so, yeah, man, so that's just what we're looking forward to doing. Anybody who gets a hat today, I'm willing to purchase a coffee, anything, like, we got like all types of coffees and teas. I don't even want to, you know, pretend like I know. But like, I'm willing to buy you one just in compliment and in partnership with the space. You know what I mean? It's playing people, and like I said, I'm going to tell y'all all about the journey as soon as we get back. 6:30? Okay. Sound good? Past, and you know, I feel like since like May we had that showcase at Here's the Cool Stuff, and that's where Toni really started pouring more into me and into the brand as well. Like after that, and just continuously showing up for me, and you know, like literally the inspiration behind this magazine. Because I'm like, man, I want to do something different. I don't want to come out with no T-shirts. You know what I mean? I just always want to do something that's pushing the envelope on what is possible. So like I was just sitting in her crib one day. I'm like, yo, I could really just make a magazine. I'm really him for real. Like it's nothing. I could just do it. I could get on the Canva. I could do my writing and do the. And how long did it take me? Like 5 days, 7 days, maybe 2 weeks max. I just wrote that shit up, and I'm like, nah, man, I need to really like be intentional about what it is that I want to see in the world. So that's where like the future of Still Growing started becoming more clear to me. Is like, oh, this more than clothing. Like the way people resonating with it and see themselves in it, and like what it's done for me as far as healing and transformation. So that's when I started really like locking in with the branding and the marketing and stuff, as far as, you know, the healing journey, number one, not being traditional, right? It don't gotta look like what, you know, people commercially be showing you. You know, you don't gotta just like have these certain products or be at certain places and look for certain people to acquire healing. You know, like I was using community, knowledge itself, nature, you know what I mean? Things that like typically aren't prescribed when it's time for you to do your healing journey. And that was what was important to me as far as what the future of it looked like. So like even now, to end the point and wrap this up, as far as like what I wanted to share from my point of view before we get into theirs, is like I really started seeing how the sustainability of the clothing, my work, my views, the things that I want to see in my community, that requires us to go to the foundation and the source. So like I want to announce to y'all and even to the world, like I'm intentional about like advocating for more agricultural spaces and more botany, and you know what I mean, more floral work, like places like this, like Plant People, because there's so much of the intention and the aspirations that we hold as creatives and entrepreneurs and community members. Like it belongs, and it starts from the land. It starts from the food that we put on our table, the tables we eat them on. Like the land really it misses us. I know it misses me. I've been called to go back to the land, and I want to bring everybody along with me who's, you know, feel the same way and resonate with Still Growing. So like, you know, I got some things that's coming up in the future. I don't want to announce it too quickly, but you know, just keep looking out for what we're doing, and I want to encourage y'all to hold spaces in places like this. Y'all be seeing me at Canvas. I'm locked in with like 5 black-owned businesses. I'm telling you, like, they really want us here. They need us. You feel me? And you know, lastly, I'll end it on is like, you know, I'm always a very innovative person. I'm always about like pushing the envelope and doing the thing that niggas think is not possible. You know what I mean? Doing the shit that is repeatable and like predictable. That shit corny to boring to me. Like I'd be like, yeah, and what else, right? So that's all for me. That's like the manifesto. Yo, this is my magazine, Still Growing, the brand. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be a part of if you want to be a part of a non-traditional healing journey, like I'm not super into crystals. I wear crystals or whatever. I'm not super into shea butter and meditation and all of that. But I am in the act of liberating yourself mentally, right? That's what healing looked like for me. You know, getting more nature therapy, eating better, hanging around the right people. You know what I mean? Building things and creating an outlet. So that's what the Still Growing movement is about. I created this magazine so that people can experience it and feel it in real life. We have a whole bunch of other dope products like hats and stuff like that, and seasonal drops. So if you're interested in learning more, tap in. Stillgrowing.us. That's simple.
It's really, really important right now, so I'm just grateful to be a reflection of that. Thank you.
Yeah, every time she talk, I just gotta be like, yeah, I'm just like his rooter.
Okay, the root.
Anyway, the root. Oh, the first tea blend is called the root. Yeah, we getting into it.
Okay.
We getting into the root. Peace to everyone and everything that is listening. And when I say everything, it's just me acknowledging that everything is corresponding to our energy. So when I'm greeting y'all, I'm greeting everything in this room, the plants, multi-dimensional being. Also, I represent electrical magnetic being, and my intention is to shape my inner light through different mediums of self-expression. So I'm always using my hands, I'm always using my body, my words, my light to connect with others. So it's always going to show up in my art and my expression.
That's my baby.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's baby.
Thank
You gotta hear me. Okay, so I like where you had started. I'm gonna do the self-awareness part. And I wanna, whichever one of y'all wanna go first, but I like the energy that you was on. What does moving with intention actually look like for me? Right. So these are questions that you ask yourself. You go and get this page. You do your journal entries. I'm just giving y'all the utility of the questions. Right. So the question for you, or you as well, is what does moving with intention actually look like for you? Which one would you like to?
So honestly, I put moving with intention in the same area as lead by example. I just recognized recently, literally yesterday, with a conversation I was having with Brother Mike, that leading by example can also just be literally in the energy of you just being yourself, just standing in who you are. For me, I had leading by example focused in my impact. Like every move that I make, I want to move with intention. Everywhere that I go, I want to make sure that it's intentional. I think intention kind of aligns with my moral compass. So moving with intention for me looks like making sure that I'm integral with how I want to lead myself, how I want to lead relationships, how I want to lead in my mission. And like I said earlier, I really believe that being in my most genuine energy and my most genuine expression is how I'm able to guide myself and where I'm meant to be. So I trust the guidance with that, but moving with intention is me just sitting with myself and knowing that there's a bigger purpose that is beyond myself on why I'm in a space. There's a bigger contribution that I have to share. Even with being in this space right now, it's like the intention was already made clear. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone's seen the post, but I love to see a post that has the purpose connected to it as well. Because it's like a lot of times we see spaces and it seems like, or at least it's just on the surface, it seems like it doesn't have a bigger purpose that is aligned for why everyone is in the room. So I like to be just conscious with how I'm involved with the energy, but also how that energy of the space will contribute to my own individual journey as well. So that's how I would like to move with it.
But then when you started talking, it started making me think about like you said, going further, right? Like being in an alignment and having direction and like a sense of rootedness in yourself, but then that also, like you said, contributing to something greater than yourself, or like being received from something greater than yourself. So like I like that too, like how you was typing in with that. So, I felt called to do like, a regular flyer. I despise doing flyers. I'm not a flyer person, but I'm a good communicator, so I know it's essential to do a flyer. But I wanted to go, like I said, a little further and do something a little different, and I made a carousel out of the flyer to just tell people what the intention is so that they could filter out whether or not they want to be there themselves. Like you just said, like with an intention comes a purpose and something greater that's being served. So on that page it says the purpose is intentional sharing, moving from observation to participation. I believe somebody here, Leek, said that when he came in today. Moving from observation to participation. So that's a reminder. Amplifying the organic wisdom of our community. I mean, y'all in this bitch. I ain't got to say nothing. We popping it. You know what I mean? And our story is the catalyst. So it's like, I want you to laugh. Yeah, I want you to have a good time. Like, this our real life. I'm not trying to cap to you. Like, I am not capping. Everyone is more than welcome to share. So like I said, we're going to have some questions. If y'all are interested as well, I do want to encourage y'all to please be considerate as well. Like I said, we got to all go. They've been here all day. So you know what I mean? Please be considerate when y'all do come up to share. But baby, I want to give you an opportunity to share your minds.
Okay, it's in my mind. So it is so, of course, not only is it an affirmation, it's like a declaration in pursuit of something. So if you set an intention with your mind, you are pursuing something. You are working towards the alignment of it. You are claiming it. So if you wake up one day and set the intention to have a good day, you're going to make sure you pursue having a good day, no matter what comes in your way, no matter what interrupts or deconstructs the whole process of having a good day. You choose that for yourself. So when I think about moving with intention, it's a choice, and it's a power too, and it's free will. It's
My favorite.
free will.
Free will.
Yeah, it's a declaration to choose for yourself, and to remind yourself that you have the freedom to choose whatever you decide, and to just move with it. So it is so.
Thank you, message. Right. I'm gonna flow into the next question because I already kind of gave my feedback. So I want to go into the self-worth section of the journaling prompts. I also want to highlight, and like I said, just remind y'all, I see a couple extra new faces. Shouts out to the gang in the back. Like, we doing bundles for 50, where it's like you can get 2 things off the table for 50 and I'll get you a free coffee, or everything individually is 30. We contributed back to the space for them holding it for us, and then once again, like anything that y'all would like to like see or read along with, it's on that back table. Once we wrap up this part, feel free to like dive into these. These are $6. These are not 30. These are $6 because I want people to have these in their homes and be able to experience them. So I make these much more accessible. So these are $6. So the next question I want to ask, right? And I feel like this is like one of the most powerful questions. I feel like this one always gets people every time I talk to them and stuff. What part of me is still healing silently, right? What part of me is still healing silently? Like, I'll go first, you know what I mean? Okay, yeah. So what I'm healing silently, right, is like, over the last 2 months, we're kind of like going on 3 months now. I had took a break in December. We actually did one of these so-called at another space, but it just didn't feel like the intention was super aligned, as we were just discussing with that last question. Like, this feels so much more better. So give yourselves a round of applause, because like definitely feels totally different for sure. And shouts out to the last one. Like, we did what we had to do, but there was just, y'all seen Sinners. This couple energies wandered on in, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. So like what I've been, just to get back to the initial thing that I was saying, over the 2 months following December, I've been like really sitting still and allowing my fears to like surround me. Like, I'm very hyper vigilant, and like I come from a state of survival and like hyper interdependence, just being, from a broken home, learning how to, develop myself in the streets, and just like moving to a totally different state to practice my business, being here in Philly, all that good stuff. It's like, so I've never been a not go to work and let things just fall into place kind of person, right? It's like, if I don't see that number in my bank account, I'm not going to sleep. I'm not going to stop working. I'm not going to stop cooking until that number is in my account. And that last 2 months, I let that go for the first time. Like, I allowed myself to just, yeah, man, that shit hard, bro. That shit's hard. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, there was moments where I would just be like, going into like these really numb states. Like, I start realizing how numb and desensitized I was to my own feelings. And I had an epiphany one day where I was like doing my journaling and going back and forth with just like research I was doing. And I realized like a lot of my passion and a lot of my ambition and like a lot of the aspiration and dope stuff I be getting done comes from a place of pain. Like just like the structure of my life and my identity being fractured as a child, and me attempting to avenge that person, that younger person who wasn't able to say no or defend themselves or protect themselves, and having to compromise themselves to stay afloat. It's like, I was always operating from that place, like, until recently. So like I had to check myself and realize there was a through line in like what was constantly echoing and reminding me to exist in that state of my being, and it was like the construct of like white supremacist capitalistic Western patriarchy, right? And how my identity as a heterosexual black man falls in alignment with that agenda of being this provider and like having the bag and getting to the hoes and like all of that stuff that come with it. You feel me? And it's like, I never realized how much that kept me not being able to enjoy myself. I found my enjoyment, baby. We were talking about this on the way here. Like, I like being vulnerable. A lot of men don't, that's not part of the package. I like being vulnerable. And I'm so fearless. My experience has allowed me to be able to stand in mines because I know ain't nobody gonna beat me up. I know ain't nobody gonna outthink me. I know ain't nobody gonna really, you know what I mean? I know I'm protected divinely and, you know what I'm saying? I'm protected. Yeah. So like my whole thing now is like being intentional with deconstructing that in the spaces that I go and creating a space where other people who don't want to be confined to those societal labels and expectations and stuff, like, you know, being a friend, being a space, being a listener, for real, like being able to listen and really hold space for that. So like Still Growing was really inspired by me seeing other black men being like emotionally and spiritually and mentally entranced and trying to figure out how to find value or self-worth in this society that constantly just tries to attack on it and like tries to encroach on it. So like this really for the bros for real. And then, you know, shouts out to the ladies because they're the ones who really like when they really see you healing and really see you in alignment with truth and like being honest human being and your humanity, they gonna show up for you. I can promise you that. You know what I'm saying? So like Miss Sharon and like even not be liked. You know, sometimes niggas just not gonna fuck with you. They're not gonna like you. It's just they not with it. You hear me? That's what
We falling out, bro. Gemini season.
You coming soon.
We falling out.
So I'll read what's that called? I'll give y'all the question again so y'all can answer it, right? What part of me is still healing silently?
The part of me that's surviving, the survival mode me. Yeah. And that's very layered. Because survival mode me is what causes me to overthink. Survival mode me causes me to self-doubt. Survival me causes me to be a perfectionist. It causes a lot of things, you know? That's just like the surface level, like survival mode. But survival mode produces so much in your body that sometimes you don't even know like where certain things come from. And then you gotta get to the root, you know? And realize that you are shedding something. And that's what Still Growing means to me, like, you know, outgrowing past timelines, outdated timelines of yourself that can be stagnant or feels like, you know, weeds, and you gotta cut some of those limitations out. And I realized, like, I was asking myself, like, certain feelings that was coming up within my mind, body, and spirit that was just being shown in my outer experience. I'm like, what's going on inside the pot? Like, what's going on within my roots that's not allowing me to navigate this life the way I want to in a fluid way? So I had to ask myself the important questions, like, okay, so where did this come from? And what do you need to cut out? You know? Why are you surviving so much? You're doing great. Affirm yourself. You are doing great. You know? Yeah, we're constantly shedding, healing, evolving, and releasing ourselves from past versions of ourselves. And sometimes we gotta just look in the mirror, because it's not the outside. It's always happening from within. And yeah, that survival mode is crazy.
Yeah, I know what part it is.
Right. He said, I know what part it is. You ain't got to ask me.
Honestly, the part of me that's silently healing is really like letting go and building a better relationship with non-attachment. Because as I've been continuously affirming what still growing means to me, it also been coming with outgrowing. And I did not know that was a part of the journey. I thought it was just the environment, but I didn't know it was going to be like people as well. I'm noticing that the part of me that's like healing is like the uncomfortability of like what the inner space resonates on when I'm growing. And like I'm noticing like my light can sometimes be so bright that it seems like it burns people's shadows, and then they start reacting in ways that is out of my control. So I literally just have to still return back to center or return back to self and make sure that I'm aiding myself in the medicine that I'm called to share. Or even when I'm like in spaces like and I feel called to share a gift, sometimes I feel like there's a hesitancy that I'm battling with within to share it, because I know within myself I'm sharing my gifts, but I know on the outside sometimes it's viewed as performing. And I know I'm not performative, so what you get on the stage is who I am. I don't feel like I have to put a certain name on it to just be. So I think I'm really just like silently healing the trust that I'm building within myself, and making sure that I'm building that deeper with those who I know I'm in alignment with. I think it's been like revealed naturally on like who I'm no longer in alignment with. I'm really trying to like get my emotions together right now, because every time when I hear this question, it feels like I have to accept that I have to be seen. I have to accept that I'm meant to be in spaces to share my voice because I know there's a greater impact. I have to accept the vulnerability and the transparency of my being, having a microphone, because it's like the voice and healing yourself from within does resonate. It is the energy that does resonate. So it is an uncomfortability with even communicating this to everyone now, but
So I always had a hard time doing all the administrative stuff in my business because I'm an artist at heart, right? I learned business in the streets and I learned art online. So I never really got an administrative class, and that's why I use stan.store, because it has all the tools in it, from like setting up Google calls, taking payments, having a community email list and all that stuff. And you know, the price is super convenient. You can start for free for 14 days if you go in my description and just click the code that says like stan.store Terrence Harris or something like that, or Terrence Harris join stan.store, and you can get your first 14 days free. And it's only like, it's really cheap. I don't want to, blow your head off, because I don't know if they'll change the prices, right? And I am not being sponsored to tell you this, but I do think it's a really good tool. So yeah, that's all.
Accomplish as far as your platform and your ideas was everywhere. We Geminis was gonna be like that.
Right.
We're gonna have a lot of stuff.
Universe.
But you were talking about clothing. You were talking about having a way for Black people to represent and express themselves without having to buy into luxury brands that are low quality and so forth and so on. I buy a lot of merch from people in the community, but how often do you buy that merch and 3 washes in, all the tags is coming off and everything? Like for you to actually sit down and take time to invest into something, and you trust it. You spoke that years ago. I met you like 2-3 years ago, and here it is. You didn't even expect it to be here. So that's a beautiful thing.
You just reminded me I even said it.
Yeah.
Gemini vibes. I ain't even right. Real rap.
So I think that success is whatever most comes natural to your spirit, and learning to unpack all the resistance of the world that tells you not to be.
I need it.
And that conversation and that message is being delivered in a very potent way. And so something that I was actually talking to my Uber driver this morning about was, to me, true wisdom. And I think wisdom goes in correlation with success. True wisdom is understanding the most constant thing is change. And also understanding that there's always something to learn. And so when you understand that there's always something to learn, and you know the constant thing is change, then you know that as you continue to learn, you will change perspective, which means you will evolve as a person, which means the person you were last week won't be the person you are this week. And I feel like in regarding to success, it's about authenticity and walking in purpose. And so when you're walking in your authenticity, in your most authentic self, then you understand it doesn't matter any type of variation or channel that you create in, if it is you walking in your authenticity, then it is potent and the medicine is potent and that is successful, because at the end of the day, the reason why Still Growing is as successful as it is, the reason why TJ is making the mark that he's making is because he is the brand. He is the medicine. And so the product is only an extension of him. When I was in Mexico, I studied and did a Kundalini practice for 21 days, and my guru was like, "You're the brand." No one's really buying, like, yeah, they're buying the product, but really what they're doing is buying you because they fuck with your energy. I don't know if I can cuss, but I'm from Philly, sometimes it happens. Okay. But like, you are the energy that makes your brand valuable, that makes your product valuable. And so real success is, I feel, and I embody, is truly walking in your most authentic self.
That I inherit that no longer fits me? I'll start off real quick. Like, I mentioned it very briefly, so I'm just gonna, highlight it to stimulate the energy. Is like patriarchy, bro. Western patriarchy mapped by white supremacists, bro. Man, I mean, it's so layered, bro. From the capitalism to everything, bro. It's so layered, bro. And it's like, you get to a point where I was like, you just believe you have to live in harmony with it. You just like, look, man, I gotta exist in that. I gotta allow that to exist while I exist. But I promise you, it don't think the same way about you. It don't believe that you should exist while it exists. So I want to assure you that everything that I do is like what Sienna just said. This brand is a revolutionary act of self-love and resting and holding space, because they don't want you to have none of that, bro. As a man, as a woman, as a queer person, as a non-binary person, as a disabled person, even white people get slumped in it. You feel me? Like, please protect yourself and continue to align with those who like truly care about your well-being as much as you do, man. Like, that's the thing that I inherited that just no longer fits with me. So
like, to even prove myself to myself, to even prove that my feelings are real, that even that my experiences are real, I have to have this, like, something, like, tangible. Like, even I was explaining some things to a friend, and they were like, you don't have to explain this to me. You can just tell me your thoughts and your ideas, and I can just, like, roll with it. Like, you don't have to have, this proven thing in order for you to just be thinking about this or to exist. And, yeah, I'm really, really learning to, like, unlearn that, to get rid of this, like, white supremacist hetero patriarchy, like, that's in my head, and just be. Yeah.
That was it. So my mission in life is to just help creative people take their ownership back, right? A whole bunch of industries have been built off of creative people's work, especially in hip hop. So I dedicated my life, my work, my intelligence, and everything that I have so that I can create a platform and a system, models, a mindset, principles that truly help creatives gain ownership, maintain ownership, and then pass it on. All of that good stuff, man. So I ain't gonna hold y'all up. This is my brand Still Growing. This is the entry point to learning more about how to take care of yourself and take care of the people around you with your creativity. So if you want to learn more, just check the link in the description, or, wherever you got to do, man. Make sure you just come find me. Which one y'all want to tap in?
I mean, basically, what's your name?
Serene.
Serene, period.
Sky.
Serene Sky, period. Yeah, I think basically everybody just hitting the nail on the head. Like, I just feel like, yo, oh my gosh. Okay, I just feel like, it's funny how, like, your name to kind of, like, affirm you. And like you always just like affirm me, like yeah, TJ used to always talk about that. And like I just feel like I'm kind of on the same journey as you. Like I didn't leave my job. I think we left each other. You feel me? I went to Greece one day. I ain't come back. They ain't call me back. December we said, yeah, let's just terminate that. I said, bet. We was already terminated. You feel me? But here we are today. And I just feel like, you know, we all saying the same thing. I'm just happy that humanity is coming back. But again, going back to your name, I feel like your name is something that affirms you. And we spend our whole back until like your 20s and your 30s. You're like, oh, it was that the whole time. Whole time, man, you pamper, you know what I'm saying? So, shit on yourself, you just, and then you shit on yourself. Crazy work. But yeah, so, you know, I'm the billionaire who God knows. Toni Yvonne, not even billionaire Hindi. So, you know, one thing I'm letting go of the fear, going back to the point, was lack. I can't lack, I don't lack, and I won't lack. So, why pretend? And that's all the patriarchy, being in your feminine and all of that type of stuff too. Like, the patriarchy had me crazy. You feel me? So it's just like, just rerouted and going back to the plant-based, like go vegan, I don't know. But yeah, so that's all.
Until the next episode.
So that was the conclusion. At the end of every episode, I want to encourage you all to make sure that y'all subscribe to the Substack like I did in the beginning or somewhere else in the video. But more importantly, like, this is because this is the only way that we making any money off this, man. I got off social media, not off of it, but off of putting all of my intentional energy on those platforms because you already know how it is there. And shoot, maybe you're watching this 10 years from now and you're hearing about the relic that once was, but neither here or there, man. I have a story that I want to share before I let y'all go, man. You know, prior to all of this, you know what I mean? I had come to Philadelphia because I wanted to become a creative. I did that. I became an artist through shows, hundreds of people, hundreds of vendors, hundreds of events later, right? And, you know, I decided to integrate the most intimate, personal parts of myself into the business, man. I wanted to show up holistically. Like, I was showing up 80% of the time and everything was seamless. Everything was being provided. But whether it was like my spirituality, my politics, my revolutionary efforts would always be put in the background because they made other people uncomfortable. But I wanted to use this platform and this opportunity in this space not to just be reckless or brazen, but to be intentional and articulate around like what it is that we're actually advocating for and what we're building. So I just wanted to leave y'all with that last message. And yeah, make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all stay tapped in. Join the Still Growing community. I'll see y'all next time.